For many of you, upgrading to a condo isn't just about yourself, it's about your family. The kids are growing, they need their own rooms, as well as a proper room to study, or even maybe a spare room for your parents to come over and help out. But here's the reality. New launches today are getting so expensive, and even if you could afford one, you still need to wait 3 to 4 years before moving in. For most families, that's just not practical. So naturally, you turn to resale condo, and that's when another worry sets in. What if my resale condo doesn't appreciate? What if it goes stagnant? Or even worse, price drop? This is the number one concern I hear from HDB upgraders. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to identify a resale condo that can give you the best of both worlds. The space your family needs today and the capital appreciation that secures your future. Stick around to the end because the last point is the most important one. It's the factor that could let you lock in a 6-figure profit margin instantly. Here's usually what happens. You buyers all only focus on the price and size, thinking that as long as the resale condo is cheap, it's a good deal. But here's where the trap lies. Some resale condo looks like a bargain today, but 5 years down the road, the price stays flat. Why? Because you ignore the bigger picture, supply, demand, and what future buyer will actually value. So how do you pick the right resale condo when it comes to upgrading? In my opinion, there are 4 things to look for. The first thing I always study is the supply. You can get this information from the URL website to see which plot of land is being bidded on, at what price, and from there, you can start to zoom in on the existing resale project in the area. If there are no new launches or upcoming launches in the area, resale condos naturally shine. It's very simple. All of us still need to buy something, and when there's no fresh supply, we will turn to resale. The scarcity alone can push upgrading demand back into the existing project. Take Jurong East for example. When Jayden launched in the late 2023 at around 2494 PSF, it set a brand new benchmark for the entire district. But just across the road, you have J Gateway, only 6 years old, right in the sweet spot. Modern layouts, MRT at doorsteps, full condo facilities, it enjoys the same attribute as Jayden. And the best thing is, it is transacting at only 1008 to 1009 PSF. For many families and upgraders, the choice was obvious. Why pay close to 2005 PSF for a new launch, wait 3 to 4 years to move in, when you can buy a resale that's still relatively new and modern, move in immediately and save around $600 per square foot. That's the decoy effect at play. And with Jurong Lake District transforming into the Singapore second CBD, both projects will benefit. But the J Gateway buyer who enter at the right time are already sitting at a pretty decent gain of around $300,000 in just 2 years. We also saw this at Dairy Farm. When Botany at Dairy Farm launched in 2023 at around 2081 PSF, it instantly drew attention to the Skywood beside, just 6 years old, transacting at around 1468 PSF. Same neighborhood, fairly modern layout, but $500 per square foot cheaper. Many buyers chose Skywood because it was still relatively new, only 6 years old, and also got the space they need immediately without overpaying. Fast forward to now, resale Skywood is transacting at around 1008 PSF, about $350 per square foot increase in just 2 years. As we have seen from this case study, whenever a new launch comes in at a higher benchmark, the biggest winners are usually the newer resale condo nearby, especially those in the 6 to 10 year range. As long as the design and layout still feel modern compared to the fresh launch, most buyers, I would say easily 8 out of 10 buyers, are more than happy to accept. That's why this sweet spot constantly benefits those who know how to identify the right resale project. If you want more example, check out this video right here. The second thing I always look at is the layout efficiency. When you upgrade to a resale condo, you're not just paying for a swimming pool or a fancy clubhouse. What you really care about is whether the home space actually works for day-to-day living for your families. I've seen so many so-called 3-bedroom units from different condos. The moment I step inside, the reality is disappointing. Some of the dining areas are so small that it barely fits a 4-seater dining table. I've seen a lot of open kitchen setup. When you cook, the grease and smell are everywhere. The bedrooms are so small that they can only fit in a single-size bed, and there's no proper yard area for laundry and a storeroom. These are the kinds of layout that struggle on the resale market because they can't meet real family needs. This phenomenon can be clearly illustrated in the case of Queenstown. Let's look at Queenstown MRT, where you have Commonwealth Towers and Queen's Peak. On paper, Queen's Peak was the new launch project back in 2016. By right, newer should be better, right? But when you zoom into the layouts, you will notice some big flaws. Many units come with an open kitchen concept, which isn't so practical for families who cook very often. We also can see that the 2 common bedrooms are so small that they can only fit a single bed, and the balcony is oversized, which looks good, but actually is into your usable living space. Now, compare that with Commonwealth Towers, which is just 3 years older than Queen's Peak, but the layouts are more practical. All the bedrooms can fit a queen-size bed comfortably. There is also an enclosed kitchen, yard space, utility room, room, and the living and dining areas are balanced for family livings. Let's also check out their performance over the years. The newer project, Queen's Peak, experienced a 37.45 gains since its launch in 2016, while the older project, Commonwealth Towers, experienced almost 50% gain due to better layouts. Here's the key takeaway. Older resale condo can still outperform the newer ones. From this case study, we can see that even though Queen's Peak is the newer project, many upgraders still lean towards Commonwealth Towers because the layout are simply more functional for family living. That's why when evaluating a resale condo, you can't just look at the price tag or the age. You need to go deeper and study the floor plan closely. Now, before some of you start shooting, let me clarify myself. I'm not saying compact units with open kitchens, no storeroom, no yard won't move in the resale market. Instead, look at it this way. It's like building a game character. We want to stack as many weapons, as many equipment and skill as possible to maximize our chances of winning. Same with your resale condo purchase. You want to make sure that you have as many positive traits as possible to stand out in the sea of competition when you're looking to exit in the future. Because in the long run, it's the resale condo with efficient, family-friendly layouts that will continue to attract the next upgrader and grow in value. The third thing I always look at is whether there's a transformation plan in the area. Because when the government invests new MRT lines, new business hub, or lifestyle precinct, it doesn't just benefit the upcoming new launch. It lifts the surrounding resale condo too. First, Pasir Ris. When Pasir Ris 8 launched as an integrated development with malls and transport hub, prices went past 1,009 per square foot. Almost immediately, the nearby resale projects like Coco Palms and D-Nest suddenly become very attractive to all the upgraders because they realized that they could enjoy the same transformation benefit but at a lower entry price. This is Chris, my team's manager. His own upgrading journey is a true testament of this. Long story short, he upgraded from a 4-room HDB flat to a 4-beders in D-Nest. And with the launch of Pasir Ris 8 plus the transport hub effect, the surrounding resale project enjoyed the same spillover effects. And now he's sitting on an $800,000 gain as a resale owner. A similar trend was also spotted in District 19. Let's talk about Sengkang Grand Residences at Buangkok MRT. Before that, let's rewind a little. For years, Buangkok was seen as an in-between stop. The MRT station was opened in 2003, but there was no mall, there was no bus interchange, and there's hardly any amenities nearby. And in fact, some people even call it a ghost station because the ridership was so low, and the land next to the MRT station was just an empty field. Fast forward to 2018, CapitaLand and CDL won the GRS to build what would become Sengkang Grand Residences, a full integrated development with malls, community club, bus interchange, and suddenly Buangkok transformed from a sleepy stop into a self-contained town center. When Sengkang Grand launched in 2019, prices were around 1,007 to 1,009 per square foot. At that time, surrounding projects like Jewel at Buangkok, Esperina Residences, and the Quartz were trading as low as $900 to $1,002 per square foot. That was a huge price gap. And because Sengkang Grand was bringing real transformation to the area, those resale condos suddenly looked like very attractive alternatives. The results speak for themselves. From 2019 to 2025, Sengkang Grand appreciated about 15%, Jewel at Buangkok gained about 31%, Esperina Residences went up by over 50%, the Quartz also rose more than 50%. So this case shows the full picture. Transformation creates new benchmark. It creates rising tides that lift both new launches and resales. And resale condo nearby not only ride the wave, sometimes they even outperform the new launch because of their lower entry price. And that's why I say, if you can find a resale project sitting next to a future transformation story, you're not just buying the space for your family today, you are positioning yourself for tomorrow's growth. The fourth thing, which is the most important one in my opinion, is the entry and exit strategy. Because even with the right layout and location, if you enter at the wrong price, your upside will be capped. Take a look at this transaction data from Costa del Sol. Most of the recent 4-bedroom transactions shown in green were transacting between $2.8 to $2.9 million. We can see a healthy upward trend. That's what the market has been consistently willing to pay. But then look at the one in red box. A unit sold in August 2025 for just $2.3 million. That's almost a $600,000 below market valuation. Now here's the interesting part. The buyer of the $2.3 million unit is the real winner. Why? Because highly likely the seller was the first owner who bought in at a super low entry price many years ago. That gave the seller enough flexibility to let go below the current market valuation and still walk away with a profit. And for the buyer who secured this unit, the moment they sign, they effectively lock in a $600,000 profit margin, simply because every other transaction around them was already higher. This is why I always emphasize entry price is everything. One of the best way to find undervalued resale opportunity is to look for a unit owned by the first owner who held the property for many years. These owners usually entered at a super low PSF, which means they can afford to sell you below the market value, and that's where you can step in and gain immediate upside. But here's the catch. edge. Because they bought in so cheap and have stayed there for so long, these units are often in very poor condition. And when you step inside, your heart might say no way before your brain can even calculate the upside. This actually happened with one of my clients. We found a unit priced way below the valuation, about 200k below, and the seller was ready to commit immediately. On paper, it was definitely a steal, but when we stepped into the unit, we actually saw chicken being bred on the balcony, and the unit floor was sticky to walk on, and the whole place had a funky smell. And my client took a look and said, no, we can't live here. And they walk away instantly, even though the number made sense. And that's the reality. At the end of the day, if your goal is to chase decent capital growth and profit margin, don't just look at the prettiest or the shiniest unit. Study the transaction history, identify first owner sale, and when the right undervalued listings show up, stay logical and grab it. Because in property, your profit is made at the point of entry, not the exit. Now let's wrap this up. If you're an upgrader looking at resale condo, don't let the fear of stagnation hold you back. The truth is, resale property can still shine if you know how to look for the right one. And let's recap. Here are the 4 things that we have covered today. Number 1, the supply gap and benchmark effect. New launches set the benchmark, and well-positioned resale will become the obvious alternative. Number 2, layout efficiency and family fits. Family pay for functionality, not just the PSF. And number 3, transformation and growth story. When the area grows, your resale rides the same wave. Number 4, entry price and exit strategy. Profit is made at the entry, not the exit. I know you hear from a lot of people saying that resale condos are risky or only new launches can make money, but I don't think so. And you have just seen from this case study, the right resale condo can hold its ground and even outperform the new launches. And here's my belief, property investment should be about long-term appreciation, not short-term flipping. You're buying a home for your family, and if you pick with the right framework, you'll also be securing an asset that grows steadily in value while your family lives in it. So if you found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe, because I'll keep sharing real case study and strategy on resale property that most people don't talk about. And if you're planning on upgrading or waiting for your flat to hit MOP, drop me a message. I'll be happy to sit down with you, understand your situation, and map out a personalized game plan so that you can upgrade with confidence and maximize your next move. My name is Kaizer. See you in the next video.